Welcome back to REPO Rethink Politics, where we back for our second half, where we talk about the Trump administration and we get into some really controversial thoughts on the Kavanaugh confirmation. But first, so let's stay on the same kind of path, and I'll just say the path of brown people restriction, because the Puerto Rico issue came up because Florence was coming, and right before they was making projections, they said, you know, the president's still saying he did a fantastic job in Puerto Rico, and only 37 people was. And then he was like, look, you stupid fuck, there's almost 3,000 people. And then he said, well, it's the mayor of Puerto Rico's fault. I was like, yeah. What the fuck was that? Yeah. So we got policies with people who enforces them or directs them. Because if you can have a policy and still not do it, or you can have a policy that shouldn't be put in place because of the circumstances is there, and you can disregard them. What I wanted to get back to is they took $10 million from, FEMA, and gave it to Homeland Security. $10 million right when we in the middle of hurricane season. $10 million, and then turned around and said, well, give it to Homeland Security so we can continue to lock up these immigrants, because that's what we need more than what's going on with, you know, any type of emergencies. And this was before Florence hit. And then they did some research, and I forgot which senator had it, but they also took money from the Coast Guard. And those are the main fucking people that's actually helping. And you taking money from them to give it to Homeland Security for an immigration. And no one knows this is going on until they actually do the research. So they moving money around. And it's kind of like, yes, it's normally done, but not from the emergency funds that people need. So they pull like money from the areas that actually say, when we go somewhere, this is the money to help these people when we was there. And I was like, are you kidding me?
So why have I not heard about this? I feel like
are we going to talk about the Maria thing first or Florence first?
No, so this is the Maria thing tells you what they were doing, because maybe the funding wasn't available because they taking money away from FEMA in order to do this immigration thing. So if we're not doing any recovery or continuous recovery for Puerto Rico, is it because there's no funding available to be split out? Or are they trying to hold out and say, we can't do much more because we got hurricanes coming? We're right in the middle of the damn season. Did they actually have the funding? If they took that $10 million away, and if they did any deeper research, is FEMA trying to hold on to money just in case?
I mean, I think obviously you look at the trends. The data is there. Like these fucking storms are getting worse. I think, okay, here's how I really felt though. When they were saying this is going to be a gigantic storm, like on one hand, the news people like to hype shit up because, you know, with fear mongering or whatever the case, to a certain degree, that's going to be more ratings. And ultimately, like, I just hate the news is in the ratings game. The news should not have to. The news is news. Just do the fucking news. Yep. But irregardless, like, it looked like Harvey all over again. This is going to be terrible. It's going to be catastrophic. I mean, people won't be able to afford to leave. So again, as people are going to need to be rescued. Check. Saw that again. Boats, check. Motherfuckers out there on boats. Look, we're on the top of a house. This is crazy. It's pandemonium. This is the highway. It's so terrible. And then the reports came out about the fucking, you know, the flood insurance. And I'm to the point now, you know, code, I'm sure, because I don't get that kind of shit. It's like, I think we need to nationalize some sort of, you know, revisit code for states within a coastal region. It's just like, at this point, when you see a major hurricane, you can kind of guess what's going to happen at this point. I'm like, what basically is like how. When are we going to change laws? When are we going to say, is this a new normal and we have to change how we live in the United
But if you
States?
don't believe it, if you don't believe that, oh,
Okay,
this
well, shit, fine. Let motherfuckers just come back and lose everything. No flood insurance, just be fucked up, and then I'm sure there'll be believers at that point. But it'd be great.
That's the
but
Trump move.
but the administration is the one that's doing that. I mean, think about what you just said. We have FEMA. That's what FEMA is for. FEMA is for this. Hey, let's go in for these dumb fucks that keep building on the coastal.
No,
We
but
make
that's not what it's. Well, I'm saying. After a certain point, you need to be like, look. I mean, okay, let's as taxpayers, would you say if you rebuild a house once, your shit gets to be rebuilt again? Like you motherfucker, or do you say we'll buy you out and fucking move?
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. Or if not, if we pay for your house once, not only I'm going to triple that cost because I'm going to wind up having to pay for that anyway, but your cost per month is going to be the cost of your fucking house. Do you want to do that? You can make that decision. But if you don't want to make that decision, then I'm sorry, but that's just ridiculous. And the fact that the weather and the climate, all of this is changing, but we're going to say in the meantime, let's just pull money away from them and lock up more immigrants. Because I want that money for that. Even though we already have this money and it's already allocated because this is what's projected. And FEMA actually says, based on previous storms from the previous year, this is what we should be budgeted for the upcoming season. If the season actually replicates what it was last year, this is what kind of funding we need. Trump looks at it like, nah, I need some more money, and I don't believe in global warming, so we ain't gonna have a lot of shit. Take that money from right there.
So I mean, okay. So do you think his base blames him? Is this gonna turn those fucking red states against him now?
So a lot of them are, because let's go with the farmers. He put the tariffs out there.
True.
And the farmers start losing money. And it was like, what the fuck is going on? You're hurting us more. And then he was like, well, I'm going to save you and I'm going to give you some kind of rebate or whatever like that. But they're not that dumb, because that's just a temporary fix for a long-term situation that he created. And he just did 300 million or 300 billion more. And then China was like, oh, you still doing this shit? We're going to do it again.
He dropped another one too, by the way.
Yeah,
like
and they
in the middle of the hurricane.
Yeah, I know.
Really?
Yeah,
and like a mixtape.
Like another Kanye,
you know what? Can we pause?
Yondu.
No.
Yeah.
Can we pause? Can we talk about the video he dropped minutes before this podcast? What's the quote? In terms of water, this is the wettest we've ever seen, or some shit like that.
We've ever seen, with a lot of water.
I couldn't.
With a lot of water.
It's a fucking SNL skit in real life. It's almost scary.
Yeah.
Like
He said the hurricane is one of the wettest we've experienced by the standpoint of water.
By the standpoint of water.
And
so is it milk at other times, or
Well, water is wet, you know?
Yeah, water's wet. So he's not reading anything. He's just talking.
Yeah, that's what it looked
And
like.
that's the problem with this dude, you know.
Yeah, that's his way of like improv, you know? Like, you know how we like it when Obama's unscripted, or any celebrity is unscripted. I think that's his way, or maybe even his followers. Like, they like that he's just that's just him talking without a script.
Shit,
he doesn't need a teleprompter kind of
That
thing.
impromptu shit.
That shit was fucking terrible. I couldn't even believe. Like, I was watching it.
That's your president.
Like, is
this your king?
Like, you? First of all, they filmed that bitch outside for some reason.
I know, right? It's like not even sunny out.
He was like, "Ain't no storm over here, so I can go outside."
It's like, why aren't you?
That's a cool point. I didn't realize that.
Why aren't
fucking idiot?
Why aren't they filming that?
Yeah, I'm talking about the storm outside. That's what's up.
It's sunny here. I don't know what's going on in your neighborhood.
Why
you know,
why are you not in front of some sort of command center? Or your little, whatever the Homeland people are, or the FEMA people.
The war room or whatever.
Yeah, it's like, why are you outside? And then he's just doing the gestures. And then, E, did you notice? It was almost like he wasn't like serious. His facial expression was like a
was
weird half
almost
smile.
like he was fucking smiling and shit.
Everything is okay. Like like he's selling something.
That's what I'm saying. It was a weird infomercial car salesman. Come on down to government emergency systems. We'll have you back in your home, or my name is Donald, or some bullshit like that.
And we got paper towels for everyone.
Like, I don't know.
But so that's the environment that we're in. Politicians, the media. Back to what you said earlier, Chaz, there's people from other countries. And when they ask you, or I know I've been asked, they was like, I don't know what y'all going to do. We feel bad for you. They don't even say it's us. They know there's something else, but they're really confused how it happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's one thing for it to happen, and it's another thing for it to continue to be a shit show. So I can't think of an analogy at the top of my head. It's kind of like I don't have an analogy right now. I like my analogies, but I'm just
you do.
I don't. This is unprecedented. This is you have long term Republican donors who are saying, "I'm out the party.
Yep,
I'm donating to Democrats. I can't do this shit." So from my perspective,
I'm on the outside. I'm on the outside
because they don't want their names on it, so it makes sense.
You know what I mean?
It's just they're not doing anything about it. Like actually, stay in and actually do something.
The op-ed shit. So it's just I don't know.
So we say all of this. No, but we say all of this.
Speechless,
we say all of this.
Yeah,
and from our last podcast, the convictions and everything is building, because I never thought Manafort would plead guilty and work with your boy.
I mean, he flipped him.
So I think how he flipped him, and he said he'll hate flippers. I think he flipped them because he said, "Oh, we're going to get you on federal, but we're going to get you on state," and he won't be able to help you there. He won't be able to help you.
Proof.
Yep.
Cohen and Manafort,
Yep. They both said, they officially said, we're cooperating with Mueller.
Yeah, because Cohen is dumb. I mean, I think he clearly broke the law with the whole finance thing with the Stormy. Oh, yeah. I mean, Stormy Daniels is going to go down as being instrumental, I think.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think you're absolutely right. That was the catalyst. If there was anything, that was the catalyst that made them, it delayed everybody as a distraction while they was actually arresting all of these people in the White House. But the White House kept dealing with the Stormy Daniels deal.
Yeah, because in terms of the collusion shit, terms, I don't know if you have Michael Cohen to go down for that kind of shit, because the feds can't really put pressure on him. They probably can, but that's a big one. That's you know what I'm saying? So I think he can maybe skate on some, maybe, because he was kind of dumb. Yeah, like some other taxation real estate issues too.
Yeah. Oh, did you hear too with Manafort? They seized all his fucking property, dude.
Yeah.
All of it.
So I mean, you got to cop a deal. What you gonna do? Not have all your houses, all your assets tied up, all your assets, or you snitch.
The money in the accounts. Yeah, you snitching ass. We're gonna get you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
So this one's for you, E. I'm not sure if you heard it, but the conspiracy theory is he flipped because they was threatened. His life was threatened. So the only way he can stay away from that is to be protected, because he had to go back. He went back to jail. Mm-hmm. He's not like sitting up in somewhere. He's in jail and said, "Look, just keep me away from everyone. I'll give you what you need, but I need this 24-hour surveillance on my ass because I think they're trying to kill me." So that's the word why he flipped. It didn't matter if he got pardoned. They was going to get his ass anyway, because one way or another, they would force him to say something and his ass would be killed. And the Russians can kill motherfuckers like crazy.
Yeah. Like on the low, too. It just happens.
Way low key. You know what I mean? So did y'all hear in Cuba? Remember the embassy that everybody in the U.S. embassy in Cuba got sick because of some kind of radio
Trace
thing?
that shit back,
Now
didn't
the
they?
research is it was fucking Russia.
Dun dun dun.
Was that related? Was that related to the y'all heard about the flights, the flights that had to be quarantined and
Oh no, I
everybody?
didn't hear that part.
Oh,
No,
I don't know.
it was a couple of flights that people just got sick.
Yeah, there were at least 2 of them. Yeah,
Vanilla Ice was on it apparently. Well,
Yeah, exactly.
everyone was sick on the flight. They had to quarantine everyone, and it was like at least 2 flights. And they said it came out of the Middle East though. So, but I mean, you could plant that.
Obviously, obviously,
Could be a test.
because
You know what I'm saying?
If I'm Russia, I would definitely plant it in the Middle East because he's trying to do that travel ban shit anyway. Just give him ammunition. So
And then they could wash their hands of that shit.
We ain't got nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
Let's say Islamic terrorists is doing it, and while they in the middle of doing all that shit.
Yeah, you got state media, Fox News. They'll just be like, "Oh, well, of course it came out of the Middle East. That's just
the Taliban,
easy money right there." Yeah.
ISIS,
the Taliban.
It's all of that shit. So so with all of that going on, and these guys flipping, and Manafort made sure that he had a plea before they actually got a jury together. He was like, "Look. Yeah, where everything that they saying, I pled to that. I'm guilty with every single fucking thing." The judge was like, "Okay, so the house in here, yep. The house over here, yep. The apartment over here, yep. Your bank account from this, yes." I was like, wow. Either this dude knows something's gonna happen, or I'm gonna be in jail for the rest of my life. Look, y'all can have this shit, but if you can limit my time in jail, or you can keep me safe, yo, I'm your man. I'm your fucking man.
So, I think in between Manafort, Cohen, and the Trump CFO guy that they got a couple weeks ago, I mean...
Yeah, the Jewish guy?
Yeah, that shit is, we're going to see some shit. And I'm just really curious about how shit will drop before the November election.
Like some new stuff comes out.
Like, do you see Mueller being political in that way?
So I think he will. I think he wants to be sure that
the Democrats will get in to help him.
No, there will be a bias seen that these people are all criminals.
Yeah, I don't know if that holds weight, but just them being criminals. I think that's what I feel like Democrats, like the DNC, actually believes will actually do something. I think something needs to come out deeper that like connects to Trump directly.
To make for the collusion, you got to prove that kind of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because right now it just seems like, well, Trump just has some shady dudes around him, but it's like no different than who's in the White House right now. So it's just in terms of when it comes to with the election itself, it's like, well, that's already what we already dealing with. Except this time, at least the feds got somebody.
Like homeboy just got on the whole internet and said, "This is the wettest hurricane we've seen in terms of water." So, I mean, what?
Ain't nobody on Fox gonna break that down and be like, "Do you see how stupid this sounds?" Nobody's gonna say that.
So, I ain't gonna say that. I just couldn't imagine. Well, first of all, I couldn't imagine his lawyers letting him be interviewed by Mueller because he fucked up.
You didn't hear that?
What?
Nah, Chad, seriously. His lawyers went to Mueller and said, "I cannot have him talk to you. The way he would come across, no way. I cannot." They got this in writing. They got this in a transcript to Mueller that says there's no way. They had a mock questioning with him, and he failed each time. That they had to go to Mueller and say, "Look, I'm sorry, he can't testify." And Mueller's like, "Well, wait a minute, but we need to look. I'm sorry, we'll just no, you cannot talk to him."
So where are we in the negotiations in terms of how the president will be questioned by the special counsel?
So right now, if they don't actually just subpoena him, he's not fucking going. He's not going to come willingly. And he's so arrogant that he was like, oh, I'll fucking talk to them. I'll spin them around. But they know he'll perjure himself. They know he will.
They'll trap him.
They'll trap him.
I know that. I know that.
He doesn't know that. Because he's going to go back to, I just pardoned myself.
Like
he just does what the lawyers say, and then that's his excuse. Oh, I didn't do it because my lawyer said not to do it. So,
we got the lawyer.
They're smart.
We already got Michael Cohen. So it's just, okay. Michael Cohen says this. Now what? In fact, we got you on tape.
Michael Cohen is a criminal.
Oh, okay. Well, check out this tape. Hey, pay the money. It wasn't me. This is not Donald Trump.
Pay all the money.
Watch The Apprentice, NBC, Thursdays.
The other name he was using? Remember, he had a different name.
Shit.
Jason, something with a J. Something stupid.
Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson, Esquire.
Esquire.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sir Anthony, some bullshit like that.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. So
that's another wait and see. There's just so much shit that's building up, and all what's going on now is the negotiation to the people who's flipping on.
Now, Mike, we got to talk about Kavanaugh. So
yeah,
I've been sitting on this because I'm actually really torn once you get to it.
So yeah, I had a conversation with
of course. I had a similar conversation. Right. I'm sure it went the same way.
yeah. So Kavanaugh, the nominee, we already know, and this is where I started my conversation. I said, so you already know most his judicial time, he has been trying to deny women abortions. Through his career, he sided with things that was arbitrary to women. He's just been doing that. There's a record that says that. And it was an agreement. But now, at the ninth hour, they said, we have some disturbing information about Kavanaugh's past that was never revealed. And I was like, the fuck was that all about? And then it was
a crazy
rape
shit. Yeah.
And then I was like, oh shit, okay.
Pinned her down.
But here's the real key. This shit was high school.
So that's okay. So if you do some crazy shit at 16, 17, 18, is it not crazy?
No, it's crazy. But how old is he now?
I mean, if you're talking about like legally,
so the question is
versus character.
Are you a different person? Is this because if you had a daughter, would you care? You know what I'm saying? Like, I always try to think back on that level. It's like, okay, if this happened to someone I love, but on the other hand, 30 years later, if it was that same guy, wouldn't my feelings be the same? But if I have a son, my son did some crazy shit. Would I just have to respect the fact that, well, you shouldn't have done that, and here are the consequences? You know what I'm saying?
Well, you would have to prove that that's not you.
Remember like 600, 500 alumni apparently signed a letter or something.
So
you think it's all bullshit?
So here's
in terms of
saying.
Evidence, because how do you prove it though? That's a scary shit.
No, I got you, but see that goes against the character of the guy. So I'm still relating not the act, but the act of disrespect to women. So is he capable of doing that based on how he says that a woman has no rights over her own body?
Yeah.
That's what he's saying with his legislation. That's what he's saying as he adjudicates on the bench. That's what he's consistent. That's what he's doing. He's using a system, even though there's a law that says that women have the right for an abortion. But he still goes against that. So if you break it all the way down to say, well, if he did this, does it goes against his character now? Well, even if it did or didn't, it's suspect because he doesn't think women have control of their bodies.
Right. Should have control.
Shouldn't have. Yeah.
Right.
Right. So
it should be consistent with everything. Yeah. Someone with that mindset would have.
Yeah. And I don't want a person on the Supreme Court with that kind of mindset. With the with an allegation that he forced himself on a woman, and we don't even know if it happened again. We don't know that. Until somebody appear and say, look, I reported it, but here, go check out the record. And they'd be like, oh my God, this dude actually did it before.
There was a teacher or somebody who, well, all right, so here's the only thing I'm thinking about in terms, like, because we've all been young, we've all been in high school. Like, are we gonna, 30 years later, somebody gonna be like, because this is obviously a heinous thing, but I'm thinking like, okay, what if you have someone who spin the bottle? Hey, you kissed me without my consent. You know what I'm saying? Or
that's minor. That's minor.
I get that.
I mean, that's
not in this climate. Not in this climate.
So,
well, I would say if you want to be a Supreme Court justice, I mean, that's up there with the president almost. So that's power. So
that's what I'm saying.
If I question,
so if you do anything that's if you do,
I mean, yeah, it's like if I'm hiring you for a position at a job and then you posting some racist shit that maybe you posted something in I mean, hell, it's happening right now in sports. You know, the people looking back into your past and what you're posting, what you're saying.
Oh, right.
You say something racist,
just like Al Franken.
People are judging your character. It's not illegal. You could say what you want. That's the First Amendment. But then, you know, if you're at that position, that high of position, then we can easily be like, I don't trust you.
No, that's fair.
That simple.
My hope is it doesn't get to a point to where, you know, spin the bottle or da-da-da. Because motherfuckers, male and female, my thing is they give in to peer pressure, maybe do things they're not that comfortable with. Because you're young. You're still learning about yourself, whatever the case. So obviously you're not saying...
I mean, if you want my opinion, it does show his character. I mean, I don't know. He's probably not a terrible person right now. You know, he's an aggressive dude, you know, but you know, if you're going around like saying no to, you know, abortion and striking down on all women's rights, then it's kind of consistent to that story. And it's kind of like, well, wait a minute, that's you, you know, and then the other half is like, well, I mean, he was young.
But I'm not a rapist.
Right.
Well, you don't respect women. And there's laws against women right now.
Exactly.
So let me give you another example. He had a case for an immigrant that came into the country that was raped when she came in.
Oh, man.
And they were saying, hey, look, this young girl, she needs to have an abortion. She was raped, and I know she's illegal, but while she's in custody, she doesn't want to have a child from a rape victim. He's like, so how long can we wait before she has an abortion? Because I want to make sure that if she can get an abortion if we deport her back. They was like, look, we don't know. So she's going to pay the money for her own. We got people to help her with that. And he kept trying to delay it so the trimester would be over, or if I'm saying it wrong. But the time that says, well, now you can't have an abortion has passed. And then he was like, oh, guess you can't have an abortion now.
So I'm saying, what happens with that baby? You know what I'm saying? There's no one.
Say what?
It's like, what, is she supposed to care for that? Like the child she didn't want to have?
They don't care. Republicans who think that women, as long as you are a child bearer, you supposed to bear that child. In their mind and their philosophy, it's not up to you to make a choice. Once you're pregnant, your rights are gone. You have to have the child. That's them.
No, this is just a heavy ass subject. You know what I'm saying? It's just no, that silence is just more so like, ooh, you know, what's the sound? Ooh, you know.
But this guy's in the high. He's going to the highest court in the land.
Obviously,
for the rest of his life.
No, so obviously, just to be clear, what I'm saying is, I don't like to pick at all. In fact, the other dude should be in there. Obama's pick. I guess I'm more so just talking about like just the general climate of like, you know, again, I haven't been a victim of this. You know, I probably have a low, and you know, just so I'll probably talk out of my ass at a certain point, and I'm just kind of like, just at face value, you're like, damn, high school, you know, it's like,
so that was my initial thing though. My initial thing was like, what the fuck? I thought it was like 10 years ago, coming out of college or in college. This was high school. And this woman went through therapy and shit. You know what I mean? And I was kind of like, whoa. So do we just say disregard?
I didn't realize it was high school. That's the thing.
Yeah. So
I thought it was
when I
maybe
first
college.
heard it, oh, go ahead.
Yeah. No, yeah, I thought it was like college or
No,
like
okay.
late college kind of thing. You know? I mean, it's not too far apart if you think about it.
When I first heard it, I'm
School
thinking
college.
like, oh man, this was some like prom stuff. Like, did he try to grab a boob or I'm thinking of like, he must have tried to do some goofy shit like that. Like, bro, what do you? He didn't have game. He was just
Right.
being a dumbass.
Yeah.
So,
But he was there with his boy too. She said he was there with.
Yeah. So now we got to investigate Buddy, and like, I was like, oh shit. So it's just one of those unfortunate things that I'm glad that hopefully women feel more comfortable now reporting shit ASAP, because you don't got to get into that whole blah 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 blah. Shit is recent. We got witnesses and hopefully evidence, tapes, text, video, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I think I would love to see. I don't know. I just feel uneasy about some shit coming up later like that.
So the actual White House was told, hey, this needs to be investigated before she testifies. They said, no, we're not going to investigate. Just let her testify. So now she's saying, fuck that. You'll need to investigate this before I testify. Because what she's saying, and this is why I said I give some credence to what she's saying, is, hey, if she wants them to investigate, then there's something that's out there that can kind of validate some things.
Like there's more to it.
Or there's more to
other story.
Oh,
yeah.
Exactly. So they said, FBI, fucking investigate this before you have this hearing. And the hearing's supposed to be Monday.
Yeah, I heard that.
So, but in all honesty, if it wasn't for his stance on abortion and him sitting on the bench legislating that way or adjudicating, whichever one you use, I would say, God, really? All of this way back, don't you think he's a different person? We all different people. We did crazy shit because we were young and didn't even understand what was right and wrong. We didn't know what circumstances.
And from her perspective, I can imagine she's like, no, I think he's if you're capable of doing that, then you're probably even worse now.
Yeah. So, and you got to respect her.
Yeah. Or he never learned, because a lot of it's like a power trip where these.
Yeah, he got away with it. You know what I'm saying?
He just kept going up higher and higher and getting these positions. Gets a sense of entitlement that he doesn't learn. He uses that power as part of the whole Me Too thing.
I guess what I'm saying is kind of like how people, last time we talked about Ving Rhames getting the police called on him for this or that, or I saw a thing about iPhone, like, so the new iPhones, and women were like, this is sexist because you're not really taking women's hands in consideration.
Wait,
like, hey,
story?
It was a story where it was in Bustle. Women were like, the new iPhones are sexist
because they're like bigger.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think the major point was, at the very least, there's not a lot of women representation in the higher ranks of the company, which is fair. So my thing is, I personally felt like, well, I see a lot of women who have big phones. A lot of women seem to prefer the larger phones. So I was like, is that, how frivolous is this? So kind of like for the racism, are we really getting frivolous on you can't barbecue here? So I guess my fear is, what if motherfuckers in high school thinks back like, you rubbed against me that one weird way. You know what I'm saying? And again, that's paranoia, probably overthinking it. But I'm like, what if motherfuckers really go there? Like, they're going in other ways.
But Chaz, what if you was running for mayor? You know what I mean? You've built a career of trying to do the right thing. And little shit like that, you don't regard because you didn't even see it as being offensive because you never disrespect a woman in that way that you've seen that's out there. But then it comes up and said, yeah, well, when we was in college, he was like, get out of my way, bitch, and grab my ass. And you say, no, I didn't. And somebody with her said, well, she came to me and said, did you see what he did? And she was like, I didn't see it, but she was really upset about it. And you're like, what the fuck is this? You know what I'm saying? You don't, it's the paranoia thing I get, because when you're in a place of power or in the media, anything can come out. You just got to be ready for it. Because if you're not ready for it, then it don't have to be fair.
To me, I'm not even saying power. I think for the domestic shit that does happen, that happens. But it was an NFL story that happened this season. The chick was like, the girlfriend recanted. It was like, I didn't hit him. Yeah. I just was mad or some shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not even talking about like motherfucker running for president. No. Just somebody who's mad who wants to,
saying, that's the media though. So if you're in the media, people say, "Oh, now he's making money. I'm going to teach them he's not as great as he think he is. I'm gonna let them know this." And you're like, "Oh shit," you know what I mean? So you're right.
Yeah. Just because I'm just saying that because the guy is gonna lose that battle. I think just being accused of that shit is
of the time.
You know what I'm saying? Just generally speaking, that's it's unfortunate. So I'm more so from the angle of I'm hoping that everything, like everybody's going to be righteous and everyone just wants to seek justice with this, and everyone should get justice, and then doesn't go to any extremities. So, and I'm hoping I don't offend any survivors of this shit. Go ahead.
I don't. Well, okay. Well, I think there's two parts of what you're saying though. So
yeah.
First of all, I don't think you're wrong at all. Like, I think you're right that I think the part you're talking about is part of what do you call it? Like the celebrity side of it, or like sports, where you have a guy that all of a sudden he's making all this money, or even sometimes he's about to make some money.
Yeah, about.
And then you got some girl yelling out rape or whatever, and then boom. Just the justice system by itself immediately blames the man, especially a black man. So this is it's different in that part. I don't see those stories happening often when it's a white dude like Big Ben.
Shit.
Ben Roethlisberger.
Great point. Great point.
So that's one side of it, and then the other side, which is the Me Too side, which I don't think is the same thing, where it's more about people in position of power. I'm talking like people that are CEOs, billionaires, people that executives that are in control of actual hirings, control of the goddamn economy, the movement in this country, the media, like these people that are actually the goddamn Supreme Court picks. So there's people that have even higher power, like legit, can change your life kind of power. I'm not talking about football players or even celebrities. You're right about that part, but I think this is different. This is, hey, this guy is going to be able to make a decision about my life kind of power. And if this motherfucker is grabbing asses, saying, fuck you, bitch, or, tackling me on a bed, trying to put his what I'm saying, take advantage of somebody that could be my daughter, that could be my sister, that could be, a friend of mine, that kind of thing. And he's out there sitting behind a judge making decisions, that's different, to me. So that's where I feel like, okay, this just needs to be heard. People just need to finally hear this, because that's a big deal, at least for the Democratic side. But I think Republicans need to stop fucking around and actually hear that story. So I think so you're not wrong. I'm not even trying to say you're wrong. I just think it's two different levels. Like, this is a totally different level. This is kind of like a moral issue, like between right or wrong. So I'm hoping that
I get
actually
that
gets
part.
out.
Yeah. No, I'm more so just saying what I was saying is more so speaking in general, just for it's kind of like obviously dudes in power for the last really last 30, 40 years been doing whatever.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm just talking out loud. I'm saying, I hope it continues to be that trend of motherfuckers who do shit and everybody, it's just kind of like no one wants to be on the other side saying, we need to defend. It's almost like, well, if you say, let's wait for evidence and due process, are you arguing for, are you on the side of a rapist, a sexual, a suspect, a sexual assault? You know what I'm saying? That doesn't sound good. So I'm just, but on the other hand, do I want to rush to judgment for every person accused? Do I assume that they're guilty?
Right.
So but
and then how far do you go?
But I know we're three guys talking, so I'm just kind of like, I mean, there's no women in this conversation.
But I still have the conversation with women because I do see their perspective. But do you just say, ban a motherfucker for life? Yes. Okay. So do you go out and say if a person goes to jail, they did their time in jail, so they can't vote for the rest of their life? They're a citizen. They pay taxes. So you say they can't vote. Oh, absolutely. But you saying a person who's done something wrong and you denied them employment for so long, you denied them the ability to be seen, and that's their job to be seen, or that's their job to manage, and you continue to deny them to a certain extent. Is that the same thing? Well, no, but they need to learn. Okay, so when is the time that a man can learn? Or when is the time that a culprit who did something, when is the time? Because if you can't give me that, then what you saying, it's for life. Because what's his name? Louis C.K., he went up and did jokes, and they said he shouldn't have went up and said jokes. It's too early. It's too soon. What the fuck is that all about? But again, we're men. Well, you don't know what he did.
I mean,
Dave Chappelle. His shit was just weird though. Like his.
Dave Chappelle did that skit about, well, not a skit, but the bit on his comedy special. What'd he say? And he was like, I forget, but he touched on that, and people that came out. On this subject, we got to talk about, was it Michael Shea and Colin Jost on the Emmys, and everybody was mad about that.
What did he do that was bad? Because I watched it, and at what point did they do something that was offensive?
But did you see the reviews for it? Like, people was like really trashing it, or people saying it was dull or this. And
I saw it. The biggest thing that pissed me off about it was how they were so like talking diversity and inclusive, and how it's not going to be like Oscars so white, but then
it turned out the same way.
It was like white winner, and it was like Atlanta ain't get nothing.
But Regina King,
Blackish and get nothing. Regina King was like, it took like an hour and a half into the show or something like that.
Newton, I think. She got it for Westworld.
Oh yeah, she was amazing though. Was that Westworld?
That was amazing. That show was. Yeah, come on. It was so cerebral that it went over their head. But
that show was
her character in particular.
She led that. She led.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I thought people was upset about it, but I guess just
were. But in general, probably. The boring part was when they went to Mahler and I forgot the other guy. They kept asking them about.
Yeah, the skit.
That shit was stupid.
That shit was not funny. It was like
they didn't get a reaction from it. They should have just stopped it.
Kept going. Yeah, and they kept going back, and it was like you're not even. I could see if there was like a twist at the end, and then all of a sudden they're like presenting something, and then
that would have been funny.
No, I guess I was seeing like the extreme shit, and that's probably the issue with social media, because I'm just so whatever. I mean, comedy is comedy, but I saw somebody post I looked up who Michael Shea calling Joestar, and now I want to die or some bullshit like that. I was like,
So,
what? Why are people so
but they're
extreme?
good.
So,
On Saturday Night Live, if you want to see anything, you should see their.
no,
Yeah,
they're the highlight. I love them. They're
Mhm.
the highlight. So I just use they're an example where I just thought like I know how people can be when that's just comedy and you just have such polarizing opinions, let alone, you know, assault and rape and, you know, just respect for women overall. So I, you know, in this modern time and all that, I'm just hoping that, you know, everybody, men included, have to learn how to. I just want everybody to chill, you know. Trump included, man. Like everybody just need to chill.
Well, that's what the other side is saying, though. Like
men need to chill.
They can't watch shows without politics being involved. That's what they call it. It's the same thing with the kneeling shit. They just feel like I can't watch football, and you know, because these players think they're entitled to say what they want. I just want to watch football. It's like it's the same kind of mess or complaints. Like, you know, like just why don't you just like calm the fuck down and listen? Like
everybody just chill. Yeah,
they saying it for a reason. It's probably because your ass ain't listening.
Oh, you don't care. And it's always I don't care until it happens to me. I don't care. And then when I lose my job,
so
oh my God, I need to get a new job.
Then you become an activist. You become outspoken. Then okay, now we gotta rally. We gotta come together. What about us? Like us?
Yeah.
It's like, fuck out of here.
So I mean, that's what's so disturbing about, you know, all of this. What the NBC guy,
which one?
Julie Chen's husband, and then the 60 Minutes guy, executive there, he had to be fired because he did something. They said,
I think he hid it, right?
Say what?
Didn't he try to hide the story or something?
Said
threatening.
He did something wrong, but I think he went to the Post and kind of like threatened them not to do it. And then it was like, "Bitch, you're fired. Fuck out of here." I didn't do anything.
He was trying to talk shit.
How stupid
but
is
look
that?
at the difference. He said, "I didn't do anything sexual, so don't come after me."
Yeah, in an email. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, that's like, you are clueless. You have no idea.
That's a suspicious email. Nobody who doesn't do anything sexual doesn't send an email that says they didn't do anything
sexual. How entitled are you to sit there and say the most stupidest, like, you know,
and that's what women deal with. It has to be infuriating, you know, to get assaulted and see a person. I mean, you know, so I get it. It's just because the way I think how I believe women see that or feel has to be how I feel when dealing with the police. It has to be the same.
Yeah, almost helpless like, to a point.
Am I going to get justice? What do I have to do? You know, no matter how loud I scream.
Yeah.
You know, so it's, you know, I get it. I'm just saying I don't want to get caught up off some bullshit. I bump into a motherfucking, all of a sudden, I got to do a press conference. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn.
I mean, are you a millionaire? Because if you're a millionaire,
yeah, I have ambitions to be. Shit.
Yep. So as soon as you hit that pinnacle, they be like, "Take his ass down." $1 million for fucking lawyer fees, and then you broke his fuck.
Yeah. Everybody's gonna start having great memories. Oh, okay. So it's like the one thing I did hear is, for any survivor or anybody who's been through that, is you can't compare like anybody's trauma, because I'm thinking about it like if you've been through some bullshit, it's like, well, you know, like I got a paper cut. It's like, nigga, I've been shot, so it's kind of like, nonetheless, you know, it's I'm saying, and to me, that's my whole point. Going back to earlier shit, people's trauma is in their perception. So, you know, it's
and again, it's
we're guys, so you know, disclaimer. Disclaimer: if you've been through it, hey, I haven't, so.
So you have to respect that, and if you don't respect that, then you're just an asshole. And to me, I do respect it, but there's a perspective about things because, again, I got a paper cut, and she has a stab wound.
I'll just say this though.
Mm-hmm.
The teacher thing is so interesting to me because those white teachers be smashing the fuck out these students, and the double standard on it to me is just so crazy because clearly they get slapped on the wrist compared to. Can you imagine if a male teacher impregnates the female student?
You don't
High
even have to
school?
impregnate him. He just have to have sex with him.
No, but I'm just. It goes to the point now. Some of these bitch, they get knocked the fuck up, and it's like, oh my god, he's so amazing.
Well, hold on. The
It's like-
problem with that is like the guy, the kid is. I don't think the kid is traumatized. It's more like the
Clearly not
parents are.
traumatized.
Yeah,
In fact,
he's
he's talking shit. So
That's
it's kind of like
You know what?
is this-
That's a sexist way to interpret.
it's society though.
No, I
I'm
got
split
it.
because
Because
society.
I battled with a couple of women with that when they say, "Well, these guys enjoy." I said, "That's a stereotype. Just because you having sex with a woman and you're a young boy, that's supposed to be okay. But when a young girl have sex with a male, you'll feel like, oh my god, but he's a grown man. He's a grown man. Yeah. But that's if you're equating that and you equating equality, then let's talk equality. Let's not talk traditional. You can't.
Okay, so you know what? Fair enough.
You know what I mean?
So if you just say blind test, teacher, student, oh my god, but then you throw gender in there. Gender, okay.
Well,
I don't know, man.
Did the young boy look like a grown man? Yo, you know how many young girls look like grown women? So let's stop that. Yeah. But again, I kind of bring that up doing the argument. I don't bring that up as a traditional because there's too many times like the gymnastics, the gymnast, and how he was just just molesting the shit out of them. You know what I mean? And I'm like,
oh yeah, definitely.
That's the power thing. Yep. And they was kept in place even though the complaints was going. They were winning.
I can't imagine
they were winning. And
but hold on, can I pause that? Can we pause that? Because how can you relate that to the teachers? These women teachers having sex with the young
Those
kids.
are relationships, though. So
they
made relationships.
Right.
Can you say that with a straight face?
This guy was like, okay, get on the bench and take your clothes off so I can massage your muscles.
Wait, well, what's the relationship? What, aftermath?
Yeah,
let's get it in.
And the kid was like, well, she loves me. And you kind of like,
no, I think a lot of them were just like, yo, she's bad. Look at her. And then he got caught. And he just got caught.
Hey, I'm not going to lie. Most of the articles say the friend snitch or a parent snitch.
Yeah, normally a parent.
Something gets suspicious. Like, wait a minute. You ain't playing your little game? You ain't playing Fortnite? Nah.
Yeah, so in my mind, I'm like, to me, when people try to bring that into the whole stereotype or the whole sexist thing, it's like, nah, that story's different. It's more like they just got caught and the laws say you can't do it. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying it's not the same as like, rape, unless the kid was
but
literally
it's statutory rape.
Well, okay. Okay. I gotta find it. But the legal terms, yeah, I know what you mean. So underage, I got you.
Hold on.
Right.
Ooh.
But would it be the same instance if it was a young girl who fell in love with the gym teacher or the math teacher or whatever?
Nah, because everybody be in some R. Kelly shit. They're like, oh, how could you? Yeah. You're just gonna get the. Hold up, Mike. Say that again. What happened? Who fell in love?
They fell in love with the gym teacher and shit like that. And that's what up. So anyway,
so you're gonna get her all that.
So the only last thing I wanted to put in is you got Kerry, you got Bush, and you got Obama out right now. Kerry going around pushing his book, preparing for his presidential run, and Bush.
Wait, Kerry who?
John Kerry.
Not John Kerry. No, nobody voting for his ass.
He's out there. He's criticizing people. He's trying to put an agenda, his past agenda out. So he's that hope. Yep, he's trying to jump in. He's trying to get in.
Yeah. But he don't realize it's not his opening.
Nope.
That's the problem.
Yeah, this clearly not his time.
On that.
In fact,
but there's another voice out there, which is good. We need people to help battle.
It's true.
Now, Bush is campaigning with Republicans, which people are pissed at, is because we start liking this dude because he was like, yo, this president is fucked up. But if you supporting the people who supporting the president, that's pretty stupid. So you still supporting the president by supporting the Republicans that support.
Yeah, people feel he's wasting his soft power, his political cachet that he's rebuilt, or his rebuilt political cachet, I should say. So I don't. I mean, it came off in the McCain speech. The difference between Obama and Bush. Bush is just is like he's the guy you like. Bush is gonna tell you what kind of car to get, or what kind of oil to put in your cars, and he's low. He's like he's like mid. He's like low level information. I'm just like, hey, I'm about to go hunting.
Yeah.
Yes, is blue collar shit, and Obama's the more cerebral, type of. So I don't really. Yeah, I don't expect Bush to really have a high level strategy to counter Trumpism.
But that was just disappointing because.
Or is it?
Well, it was. No, it was. You took him out of the equation, like being the most dumbest motherfucker. Now that Trump is there, you're like, he wasn't the worst.
He's back in the conversation.
He ain't the worst. But now he comes back and say, no, he ain't the worst, but he's one of the stupidest motherfuckers out there. Now I can change up and say, you dumbass. This is why we wanted you out. Because you were a dumbass.
It was like, that's why.
I'll just say the only thing I'm worried with Obama is what if could Obama rally the right to get more energized? Because obviously there's not a lot to get energized on for Trump now. But will Obama be a catalyst?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't.
He always is.
You got that 35 to 39% that are just straight going for Trump. I was going to just say racist, but that wouldn't be fair.
I don't know. I'm a little torn on this. Because the only positive thing is in Obama's absence, it forces other motherfuckers to step up. But on the other hand, Obama is such his name he's such a boost to any candidate. So, and who else would you want to? You want Hillary to campaign for you?
Hell no.
I mean, do you want Joe Biden? I mean, if you can pick between Biden or Obama, I'm gonna pick Obama's cachet over Biden's though.
I agree with that. I do.
Oh yeah. So I'm still a little torn just because they can weaponize Obama politically. This candidate is getting endorsed by Obama. Did you like the last 8 years? Then da 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 da. If not, vote for Republican face, man.
Yeah.
Whatever.
We don't want a Kenyan back in the White House.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still think that's still that 30% though. 35%, whatever that percentage is.
That's not moving. You will not get that. The only way you'll get it is a non-vote. And that's still a win. To me, that's a win. So that 39 to 35%, if they said, look, this dude is ruining us and I can't get a job and ruin my farm, my family is not going to vote for him. But they're not going to vote for a Democrat either. I'll take that.
Yeah, okay, there's a stat out there too, or a poll that says Trump's losing the white college educated
women.
Like it's dropping or rising, whatever the hell it is. That number, they're convinced now that he's not, like their approval ratings are just down, like just dropping.
It's awful.
It's like they're figuring it out, like, oh shit, he's not the answer. Like it was better under Obama, but they won't say that though. But
they won't.
Look, let's I think I want to wrap up with predictions.
Oh, good. So I'll start with the indictments. Maybe it's indictments will start coming out for the children of Trump. I think that's within the next week in October. that's what's going to hit. And now the sons will be called in, and not to Mueller's case, but to the New York, the Southern District of New York, SDN. They're going to be called in for that based on Trump's businesses.
I'm still waiting for his son-in-law to get something.
That's odd, because you would think that would have been done already, but I think he's trying to get some answers before he pull him in, and that's why I think they got Cohen, and then they got the accountant guy, and now he can jump to the kids. But he didn't want Trump to jump quickly because, some people think he's going to protect his kids. Some people say, well, take the fall for daddy. You know what I mean? we shut.
Ain't that a bitch?
He'll just pardon his sons anyway.
But he can't, because if it's the Southern District of New York, that's state.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Look, I think in the next month or 2 months, we're going to find out who wrote the anonymous New York Times op-ed. That's one prediction.
Who's it gonna be?
Yeah. Oh, you want? I don't know. I just know I predict we're gonna find out, but I don't.
Mike Pence. That's what's gonna be.
I'm not ready for that plot twist,
fuck, dude.
Yeah, I'm not.
I think it's
Kelly. I'm not ready. I think John Kelly he's definitely a suspect. The General Mattis, he's a suspect too.
Pompeo,
maybe.
Even though he denied it, but they're all denying it. So
that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to deny. You're not supposed to tell the truth. You're not on the oath.
So I think that's going to happen. I think this is unrelated. I think Apple is I think they team up with Goldman Sachs or somebody. They got the little Apple card. I think that's going to bump up their valuation by a good 10%. I think once they this is random as fuck, but I think once Apple releases like the little credit card, that's going to be amazing. And I think that's going to be topical for politics is because Trump is already trying to go after these tech companies. So if Apple and Amazon get like too big, I can see Trump being on some fuck shit and trying to go after them. Like they're too big. We have to break them up.
Amazon is almost at 2 trillion now. They're headed toward 2 trillion.
Yeah. There was 2 companies that just announced that they hit the trillions.
I remember Amazon.
Apple, it was Apple. Okay, yeah. The Amazon was
no. Apple was first.
Yeah, Apple was first.
Oh, Apple's.
And this is before Apple releases a little car product that they quote been working on, and their little credit card solution. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, because they were releasing the car in 2020, but they can still start announcing it. Now. That's that's a Super Bowl commercial. That's what's happening. Boom. There's my prediction. We're gonna see.
There you go.
Straight to sports.
I got nothing else.
Gotcha. Dope.
That's what's up. So excellent, dudes. Good stuff. Ran through a lot today, but I think we're pretty much up to date until everything goes crazy Friday night. then we'll go until
tomorrow.
We got to get some women on here to talk about the Me Too stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I am okay, but
did you hear what Matt Lauer did? Yeah. Ooh, what Meinberg really did? Yeah.
Anyway, all right, fellas. But I appreciate you stopping by. Repo, Rethink Politics. The guys hit in at least once or twice a month to gather information and get it out there. Get us on all podcast downloads. If you're sitting at YouTube, you can get us on Bougie Black Brother Network. So video, hit the podcast right there. Listen up, you can go from that. But other than that, we appreciate y'all stopping by, and we'll see you next time on Repo, Rethink Politics. Peace.